If you make a product in America, you don't actually have to pay the tariff.
This 100% American-made Florida tangerine right here. See, Charlie is counting on you not thinking about the fact that, yeah, if something's 100% made in America, that exact item won't get a tariff on it, but the entire supply chain and how it's made and all the materials and all of the other parts of it are going to go up in price, right? Let's take a look at this Florida tangerine, right? It grows on a tree, you pick it off. Why would there be a tax on that? Why would there be a tariff on that? Well, what about the hoses for the irrigation to bring water to this tangerine? What about the tractor that's used as these are put into the back of a tractor and then driven off to the supply area so they can be packaged? What about the bags, the netting that these are put in, right? Is the netting made in America? You know, when you buy tangerines at the grocery store and they have that little plastic netting around it, 10%. It went up at least 10%, the price of just that netting alone. Where's the label made that goes on that netting, Charlie? And then let's go talk about the rest of the supply chain. The truck that you needed to go put this tangerine at the grocery store. Every single part of that truck, were they all made in America? Because now if anything goes wrong with that truck, that part's going to need to get replaced, which means maintenance costs are going to go up because that part goes up. So now they're going to go pass that on to the actual seller of the tangerine, who's going to pass it on to the buyer. Once we get to the grocery store itself, are all the light bulbs made in America, Charlie? All those fluorescent light bulbs hanging over everybody's head. What about the shelving units? What about the refrigeration units that are used in the produce section, Charlie? What about all of the other different parts of that building itself of the grocery store? Is there anything that might need to be replaced in the near future that isn't made in America? Because all of them went up at least 10% because we put a 10% tariff on the entire world at the minimum, and at the maximum, it is percentages that we can't even imagine because they were imagined by ChatGPT as they were handed off to college students that you spent the last 4 years distracting from going into their classes while you stood out in a tent and yelled, "No, it's the wokes and DEI that are causing all these problems, Charlie."
As a business owner who makes all of her products in America, I can tell you why this doesn't really give you the full picture. Not only are all my products made here in America, they're made in New York City. Every single piece of jewelry that I produce is made in Manhattan. My business is hyper-local and it relies and feeds into the jewelry production of the city. I think it's really important to invest in that infrastructure. I have never outsourced anything in my life, and these tariffs will still affect my business. There are a lot of gemstones that don't exist in the United States. Most of our gemstones come from Asia, places like Thailand, places like Cambodia, and we just can't start creating those. All of that has to be imported. Same thing with our tools. Jewelry workshops use thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of tools, large pieces of machinery, things that need to be maintained, parts need to be reordered, all of that, China. Even gemstones that could be manufactured like lab-grown diamonds, all of that is made and cut in India, where the best diamond cutters are. Like 90-something% of diamonds are cut in India, lab diamond or not. That's where the best diamond cutters are, and those are the places that have invested in that infrastructure. So those are the ones that make the best products. All of our findings, things like clasps, earring backs, chains, the best factories are in Italy. So even when you order something like a custom engagement ring from a brand like mine, everything is made by hands here in New York City, but all of that gold, all of the machinery that we use to turn that gold into an engagement ring, and the stones we put inside are from outside of the country.
Hi everyone, my name's Terry Sweetberry, and today we're going to be looking for American products at my local mall. The reason why we're trying to find American products is because I'm pretty sure they don't exist. As in, I'm pretty sure the mall is filled with products that are made from China or any other country than America, and let's go check, because I don't think I'm wrong. Because me and you, we're gonna have a cute little day at the mall today. Is American Eagle products from America? I doubt it, but let's go check. First outfit I see, from Bangladesh. Where are you from? Ah, Vietnam. Bush beer, that should be American, right? Oh no, made in China. What about you? Where are you made from? Jordan, not America. Yeah, so none of the American Eagle products I've seen are made in America. So, yeah. I'm gonna try Rally House, Indiana, and see if any of their products are made in America. I don't think they will be either. Alright, so Purdue Products, well-known college in Indiana, made in China. Made in Thailand, and Egypt. I'm not joking when I'm saying I'm genuinely trying to find something made in America and I can't find it. Yep, even shirts that are, say, Indiana, China. Yep, Salvador, and Honduras. I swear every single product is from a different country. China. I have not found not one product that's made in America. I want to thank everyone who suggested doing this challenge. Thank you. Because I failed miserably. Even products that look like they should be from America are not from America. So I have a challenge for you. I challenge you to find an American product in a store near you. Because everything here is from China. I'm not joking. I genuinely looked for products that were from America and couldn't find one. So I challenge you to find an American product in a store near you. Because obviously I'm from America and I can't find an American product in a store near me. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Manufacturing is never coming back to America. Never. And boomers won't let it go. And you know why manufacturers never coming back to America? Because people and businesses were sold on outsourcing. Remember, outsourcing was supposed to lower the costs for companies so that higher wage jobs and higher skilled jobs could be brought to America. But that didn't really happen. We don't have the infrastructure for manufacturing. You don't build a factory in 30 days. Frankly, you don't even build a factory in a year. And even if we did build the factories that we wanted, you still can't afford to do manufacturing here. Why? Because you don't pay living wages. Your employees wouldn't even be able to make enough money to live off of working for you. So it's not even plausible. And even if you did want to pay them more than the bare minimum, your customers couldn't buy what you could produce because it would be too expensive. Manufacturing in America, for the most part, is done. We do assembly. We get the parts and the pieces from all these different places and we put it together and we sell it. But this whole concept of we're going to manufacture these things and compete with countries like China, India, yeah, good luck with that. That's never going to happen.
This is a great point. In fact, infrastructure or the ability or the tools to do the basic things we need to do is not really here in US. And it wasn't like that before. And China actually cracked the code on this one. Most people don't know this. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, well, actually it's more than a few years ago, it's more than 10 years ago now, there was a project in Florida where a Chinese company wanted to build a US-based car company. Yeah, you heard it right. It was gonna go really well. But you know what China wanted to do? They said, I'm gonna bring a workforce here to do the infrastructure, to do the manufacturing and do all of that. And American companies and the politics at the time, they're like, no, what is this? We can't do that. No, this is impossible. What do you mean? You're gonna bring a bunch of Chinese people and take our job and manufacture there? So the project didn't go anywhere. But do you know why China wanted to bring people to United States to do the infrastructure project? It's because our construction business, United States, America, is so corrupted. The fact that housing or construction costs so much is not because the material is expensive or we don't know how to build it or the labor is expensive or the land is expensive. No, it's general contractors taking a huge cut on simple things because they can. They can literally be like, oh, to get a permit, yeah, that would be like a $2 million thing because I know the local people and it's gonna take a while. Dude, a permit is a couple $1,000s. But you know what? Government and companies will pay a couple $1 million for that permit for no reason, because we're just like, well, I guess that's how much construction costs, the infrastructure. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah. No, it doesn't. But we let people get away with it. So that's why actually many general contract company, if you know them, they're all private, so you don't know how much they make, and they're all just as corrupted as you can imagine, right? People who are building homes, large commercial homes, large buildings, they're all just in this together because they've set the bar of how much it costs to build infrastructure now, and we just take it for granted, or take it as it is, I guess. No, we don't. I have many friends working all these companies. I know what they're building. I've actually worked with some of these projects too. No, we don't. We are pretty primitive in terms of automations. We have good foundation technology, and most of the engineers and scientists now have American citizen because almost all of them are foreign or foreign born. Because we just don't train our employees or people here enough to be educated to do these jobs. Essentially, almost all of these scientists are actually, it's funny, it's all from China, Ukraine, Russian, Iran. Like, if you look at these scientists, none of them are American, or I don't know, they're American now, but like they're not American citizen before. But the automations, if you think about it, right? If you, I don't know if you remember Tesla, when they try to scale their factories, you know what the company they had to buy? They had to buy this company essentially from Germany, and BMW was super mad about them because they basically bought like, hey, we want a monopoly of this, so we bought this automation company from Germany who was making almost all the BMWs, and they had a huge fuss about it. They're like, you said you're not going to monopolize my automation project, but then you did. Anyways, it gets messy. What I'm trying to say is that Americans don't. I mean, we have the potential. I don't disagree with that at all. We just don't do it. And you know why? I'll tell you this from my personal working experience. Every time engineers in America decide to automate something or to do essentially research and development, our leadership, when I say leadership, is in CEOs and executive, they'd be like, is it cheaper to hire a bunch of lawyers to make sure the wages just gets really low? They're like, yeah, it's cheaper to do that. Or is it also cheaper if we just do marketing and sell the same crap to the people instead of innovating? Like, yeah, it's cheaper to do that to make more money. So the people working in American companies, or the ones who really want to innovate, don't get to innovate. Like, we don't get to do it because it's always cheaper to not innovate or to make short-term profit. And it wasn't like that. Like, America was built, if you think about all the tech we see today, it's built from the NASA program, the space program. Everything was socially, publicly funded and like long-term game without money, without thinking about like, how do we make money from this? No, we were thinking like, how do we make a better future? That's what America needs to go back to. That's what the world needs to go back to. Instead of trying to make this money as a way of innovating. Money doesn't innovate. Technology and caring about its people and thinking long-term for the better future will create jobs and innovations. And you're not going to see that in money, at least in the immediate term. I used to believe that, and it is actually true in many ways, but something has changed very recently. And let me give you an example. So back in 2004 to 2008 or so, I used to work at a seatbelt manufacturing company. My dad used to work there too. When I say work there, I like work on assembly line. So like literally on assembly line manufacturing or assembling these seatbelts. And therefore almost all the Toyota models and some of the Lexus, and we did some Mazda, did some General Motors, you name it, a lot of them. This company is based in Canada. So almost all the parts are built essentially by humans, right? Like we have machines, then we kind of assemble them, we stitch them, a lot of sewing machines, a lot of like, machine that kind of clamps it down. And anyways, it gets pretty complicated and it's a very demanding job. But we have one machine there. In fact, there are two of them. One exists in Japan, one exists in Canada at the time. I think it's still like that. That does this automatically. However, it's not as fast and not as accurate, and it can only handle certain seatbelt models. There's a specific thing it does. It has a camera, and it kind of detects and basically acts like the human eye. However, that camera never got as good as we want it to be. However, what happened recently between, like basically in the past 3-4 years, in the advancement in understanding how the human brain works, we're able to develop a better vision detection system, which we call large language models, and essentially training the intelligence of computers, essentially, and to better, basically become a better eye than human, right? That changed this machine. This machine is now able to pump out essentially all the work that we are doing, or what I used to do like 20 years ago, and automate that. And this machine, because it was so expensive and they never want to invest more, they're like, we only have 2 machines in the world and it's very expensive. We don't want to do it because it's not even as good as the human. But now I know for sure they're doubling down. They're just like, yep, our vision is better now. I would just make one more of this machine and I get rid of all the people that used to work there. And that is what's happening in the manufacturing world as we speak. So yes, automation is changing drastically than ever. Yeah.
I want to apologize as Chinese to the rest of the world, because the tariff that was intended to China, okay, spread to the whole world, okay. China could stop that. We could stop that. All we need to do is invite Donald Trump to China and make him happy. That's it. The tariff wouldn't happen, but we didn't. We didn't invite Donald Trump to China. Okay. When Joe Biden was president, we did so many welcoming things, right? He was visiting China, and Forbidden City was changed to Forbidden City just for him. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should change something like Beijing Duck. How about changing the Beijing Duck to Donald Duck, right? Everybody's happy. Okay, truly apologize.